15 years, blowing the doors off the competition. Podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRNetworks.com.
Now entering the PNR Networks arena, coming down the aisle from Revere, Massachusetts, weighing in at absolutely none of your business. It's the Mistress of Mayhem, the Queen of Quips. It's time for Ring Around the Rosie with your hostess, Kim Brown.
Hey everybody, welcome to another week here on Ring Around the Rosie. I am your hostess, Kim Brown, aka Platinum Rose Lady, coming to you on March 17th, 2020. Happy St. Patrick's Day for everybody who's Irish and everybody who's not Irish. Sucks to be you. No, I'm sorry. No. Everybody has a little Irish in them, as they say, and if you don't, would you like some? Anyway, okay, moving forward, we're over here now. I have something very special to happen on the show today. I actually have a guest on my show. This is super exciting, except for the fact that I totally live with this person. My guest, my guest is my love, my Imzadi, my puddin', TC Kirkham, who is the person that puts all of this stuff out there for you guys to listen to. So yell at him. He's the reason that I got let loose on the internet, so it's his fault. How you doing, hon?
I'm fine.
Good. Obviously, I mean, I like to try and be fun on my show unless I'm doing something, unless, obviously something very serious has happened, which is actually what has happened. No lie, folks. I mean, this whole thing with this coronavirus, which is very serious and not to be messed about with. I mean, in spite of the way some people in the media would like to act, it's not a case of you catch it. Well, no, actually, it has been a case of some people catch it and they've died. I mean, people, unfortunately, but for the most part, people, that hasn't happened with a lot of people. They've just gotten really sick and feel really bad. But this thing is wicked seriously contagious. So, I mean, I really shouldn't have to tell a bunch of adults to wash your hands, but wash your hands, and obviously, because of the virus and the fact that it's, airborne and wicked contagious and blah, 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 there have been all of these edicts that have come down from the government and from the CDC and all these other people who are a lot smarter than me about things that we should all do to keep safe. And one of those things is that they have really limited, they're like, well, people shouldn't be in groups any larger than what was
the official edict is 50, but they've suggested any larger than 10.
Yeah, it went from 50 to 20, 25 or something.
In this state, it's 25 right now.
In this state, it's 25 right now. And, restaurants have been closed other than for takeout or delivery?
Takeout and deliveries are okay.
Okay.
All movie theaters in Massachusetts have been shut down.
Yep. And I would like to say right now, round of applause to TC, because he has been keeping a track of all of the movie theaters that are closed and has put that out there for people so they can see it and know, so that they don't think, well, I can just go to the movies or something, because you can't, because they're closed.
It was really surprising that it took 4 days to get everything closed. I mean, we still had some stragglers this afternoon, and they should have been done like Sunday.
Yeah, but that was some wicked freaking hard work you put into that. So if nobody,
I was checking things every hour because we have eastcinemaboston.com covers everything 50-mile radius of Boston that's in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
We don't go to New Hampshire or Rhode Island.
No.
So that's everything between Boston and Worcester, and everything in between. There's like 53 theaters.
Yeah, so that's crazy. So, you put a lot of work into that and took a lot of time to do that, so kudos to you. No, seriously.
I do that during blizzards, too.
Well, yeah, he does, because,
Not like anybody reads it, but it's there.
Get out of the room from me. Because, anyway. So, you guys are probably going, wait, why is he on the show with her? This is her thing, usually. What's he doing here?
Because I'm an invited guest.
Yes, he is an invited guest. And as I said, he edits this anyway, so he can come on anytime he wants. But I just figured since this is, we're both wrestling fans, he became a wrestling fan because of me. It's my fault.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
100%.
Completely. And I admit it cheerfully and gladly.
I hated wrestling until I was 30.
One other thing that's actually really good about you being on this show with me right now, so as I mentioned last week, it is Lent, I am Catholic, I gave up swearing, he's not Catholic. So, he can drop as many F-bombs as he likes. So.
Fork, fudge, fiddlesticks.
Thank you, babe. Thanks a lot. That's really helpful. You know what? Actually, why don't we do a little background? So you mentioned that you didn't like wrestling.
Hated wrestling.
Okay, hated wrestling. Jeez, calm down. But you got into it because of me.
Yeah.
And
before we got together and I knew she liked it, I started sending her cards that I would pick up at the dollar store. Mm-hmm. Card sets like from WCW.
Yeah, because he knew that I liked wrestling.
And
those things would probably be worth really money now. I don't know where they are. We probably
still have them somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
And I couldn't help but watch it because she was always watching it. Mm-hmm. And slowly she sucked me in. Well,
the first thing that you were like, hey, that guy looks like the guy from Sequest. We were watching a
Clash of the Champions.
Yeah, Clash of the Champions.
Arn Anderson.
Yeah, Arn Anderson looked like the actor that played Chief, was it Crocker?
Chief Crockett.
Crockett.
Or it may have been Crocker.
No,
Anthony would know. Anthony, tell me which one it was.
Yeah, I think it was Crocker. On Sequest DSV. How many of you remember that show?
I do.
Well, I know you do, Precious. Okay. You watched it. But anyway, so he started watching with me, and he was like, well, who's that guy? Who's this guy? Why is that guy mad at the other guy? And all this stuff like that. And
I already knew from writing and from our correspondence before that you were a sucker for Brian Pillman and for Kerry Van Erich.
Yes.
So.
Very true. Sadly, no longer with us still.
Yep.
Miss you both very much. So he got into wrestling, and we became really big fans together. And once I got a car, we were going to like tons of indie shows and we had fun. I mean, we had a lot of fun. Not all the time. There were the odd occasions when we got injured, but
we didn't get injured. We knew some of the local guys.
We did.
So if they asked us, we would occasionally take a bump in the audience with them.
Yeah, okay, although you getting slammed,
I did get slammed in the nuts by a chair.
Yes.
During an ECW show in a match between Sabu and Perry Saturn. Mm-hmm. She was in the bathroom.
Yep. This is the same show I mentioned a while back that there was a show. This was the same show that we were at that somebody tried to steal one of the belts, and I wound up. I didn't see what happened, but I dealt with the aftermath because I got pushed into a wall
twice,
face first, twice.
Once by Dreamer and once by security.
Yeah,
because they were chasing the guy.
Yeah, and I'm like, ow, ow! It's like. That is not easy on the girls up here. That was less than fun. And one time I wound up getting a chain wrapped around my ankle, and that hurt.
That was at Eric's Fed, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Hey, Eric, if you're out there. But we loved a lot of the guys, a lot of the indie guys, and we went to a lot of the WWF shows and all that stuff like that. The funniest thing was that
we only saw one WCW show that was Nitro. We only got to one Nitro, and it was when we had nosebleed seats. So
we spent the whole night looking for Sting in the rafters.
She spent the whole night looking for Sting. I was watching down below. The ants walking around in the ring.
What you could see of it, because it was like wrestling in a bong that night.
At the time, it was known as the Fleet Center. Now it's TD Garden.
There was so much smoke from the pyro. It was ridiculous. But you kind of drifted away for several reasons.
I drifted away because I just got tired of fighting with everybody. I used to write a column for PWInsider called Me Against the World, and because I had such crazy ideas that nobody liked because I was out there. And eventually I just got tired of trying to get that ready every week, and my attention had shifted back to my first love when I was a teenager, which was extreme sports. Mm-hmm. Fell in love with snowboarding and back in love with skateboarding. And so I was choosing to watch those kind of things when they would air opposite WWE pay-per-views, when she would be out watching it on the other TV. So,
And
I got out of it.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, and I don't think this is being unfair to either of us. Mm-hmm. We both really kind of walked away from wrestling for a while after the Chris Benoit tragedy.
Yeah.
It just hurt too
We
damn
walked
much.
completely away for the most part for 5.5 years because we were doing a podcast on Dancing with the Stars called Mirrorball Mayhem, and it was on at the same time as Raw. So we were doing. I got drawn into that against snowboarder Louis Vito was a contestant during season 9, and I'd watched the season when Stacy Keibler was on. Mm-hmm. And so we started doing a weekly podcast, and we got out of Raw for 5.5 years.
Yeah,
we finally got sick of that show too after a while and stopped doing it.
But I think that is fair to say that we
it is.
We did,
that upset both of us because he was a great wrestler, and to think of that. He would have been a Hall of Famer, and he would have been a legend, and now he's going to be a legend for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, it just made us so heartsick.
It's a real shame.
And we kind of always kept a toe in, or at least
you
I
did.
did.
I kept a little toe in. You got back into it full time after we stopped doing Mirrorball Mayhem.
Yeah.
And I would watch here and there, and I'd watch the pay-per-views with her, but I didn't get back into wrestling full time until she started ranting and raving about this new fad called AEW. All Elite Wrestling. And she suckered me in with the fact that a lot of my favorite performers were there. I've always been a big fan of the Jackson brothers. Mm-hmm. And they were terrific. I'd become a fan of Kenny Omega watching New Japan on Axis. And so that had started to draw me back in.
Yeah.
And then when we saw Double or Nothing, and the second I laid eyes on Marco Stunt, I was like, I'm hopeless. I'm back.
Yep.
Marco is just awesome.
You just always got to go for the underdog. You always got to root for the underdog.
You're talking to the original, six-pack fan here.
Yeah. Oh, no, I know. Believe me, I know.
I was drawn into wrestling by the presence of the then 1-2-3 Kid.
Yep.
Wrote a had a website for years for him.
Yeah. And,
so, I still enjoy his podcast.
Yeah. Oh, he's still got a great podcast. Yeah, he's got a lot of, he's a very opinionated guy and has a lot of good views about the business and stuff like that. And he's really great to listen to.
Yep.
I would like to think I was passionate about hoping that AEW would get, have a groundswell and start to, flourish and stuff like that.
They did.
Which is definitely what has happened until this mean old brick wall called this virus that came along and has kind of effed everybody straight up the wazoo.
The good thing about getting back into wrestling, though, I got to be honest, is I started getting back into all wrestling, except WWE. I got back in. I watched the pay-per-views. That's it, because we have the WWE Network.
Yeah,
but we started watching. When we finally got our Roku TV, which we've had eyes on for about a year.
Yeah.
We hooked up with IWTV. Mm-hmm. We've been watching a ton of their stuff. We've been watching all kinds of great indie
Major
shows.
League Wrestling.
We had a great, Major League is on, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And, we saw, what was the name of it? Primetime Pro Wrestling.
Primetime Pro Wrestling. Oh my gosh. Awesome. Yeah, I talked about that.
That was a lot of fun.
That was pretty bananas.
But now we're here where there's all kinds of craziness going on.
And now, as I mentioned, and then Corona, rears its head. So, this whole thing, it started in China and it's spread.
Well, Corona won't rear its head if you pour it right. It's not going to get a foam.
I'd like to be able.
This is my attempt into pushing her the way I do on Subject Cinema. It's coronavirus. Don't just say Corona.
The coronavirus. This is
or COVID-19.
Hopefully, this is going to be his
said
one.
So many times the last 2 days. It's scary.
Hopefully, this is going to be his one lame beer joke for the show. Hopefully, that's it. I can't promise it won't be it, but there it is.
Hey, you asked me.
Well, I did. Yeah, I should learn. I really should learn. I don't learn, but I should learn. So, because of the fact that we've got this virus out there and, people can't, they don't want people, even people that are in the same room, you have to be 90 feet from each other or whatever it is. It's how far do they want?
It's 6 feet.
6 feet apart from each other. Great.
It was 3 feet, now it's 6 feet.
Yeah.
Which you notice the press conferences from the White House, they're all clustered together in a big hunk. Yeah. And then the press corps is seated, spaced with seats between them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not going to get into politics as usual on this show. This is not politics. And like I said before, I mean, I try and keep my show fun and light unless there's something serious going on. This qualifies. Now, because of the whole everything's closing and people can't be in the same room and blah, 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 yada, yada, flambe, now we obviously have the fact that people are canceling wrestling shows left, right, and center because, you can't really have a wrestling show if people can't come in. Well, you can.
Yeah, I actually watched a live show on IWTV on Sunday. Southern Underground Pro put on their show that was the benefit show for the Nashville Tornadoes.
Right.
Because their regular home got wiped out, Basement East. And it was a good show, even though they told, don't touch the wrestlers won't touch you, and they all went around slapping hands. I'm like, you guys do realize that doesn't even make sense.
Thanks a lot, folks.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're sitting there, slapping somebody's hand and then taking a shot of Purell. I mean... They're I swear that, I've smelled Purell so much, or just hand sanitizer so much in the air. I swear to blog by next year, Calvin Klein's going to have a fragrance. Purell by Calvin Klein. And they'll have those stupid pretentious commercials from back.
It can't be Purell because that would be, it's already a trademark. It'll be sanitized by Calvin Klein.
It'll be whatever the French word for disinfectant is. Anybody who speaks French out there. And no, Le Champion does not count as French. Anyway. You know
Le
who
Champion barely qualifies as Canadian.
Ooh. Ooh, ouch, ouch. He said that. I didn't say that. I agree with him.
Sorry, Chris.
We're kidding, Chris. We love you. Anyway. So obviously, a lot of shows have had to cancel because people can't be there and stuff like that. And a lot of people were saying, well, what's going to happen with WrestleMania? Since WrestleMania is on April 5th. No, that's not right.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Sorry. Yep, April 5th, my bad. So a lot of people have been speculating what's going to happen. Are they going to cancel? And a lot of people, me included, figured eventually, sooner or later, they were going to have to cancel simply for logistics reasons. Mm-hmm. Now, I know me using logistics is people are going, oh no. She's going to try and think rationally now. Everybody hide behind
Everybody
glass.
run! Ah!
I love you too. Anyway, but when you think about it, when they were not saying, they kept saying, oh, it's going on, it's forward, we're going to keep going, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, how? Simply for the fact that one of the main hype points for WrestleMania, the last, I would say, 15, 16 years or so, has been, we have people from all over the world coming to WrestleMania, and, we've got people from this country and that country over there and all that. Well, now all those people can't get here.
I wonder if there's anybody coming from Liechtenstein.
I don't know. Anybody from Liechtenstein planning to come to? Come on, I'm trying to be serious.
Okay.
Okay.
Just hitting one of her trigger words.
I know.
Liechtenstein.
I'm sorry. Okay.
They can't even do Eurovision, let alone WrestleMania.
Really.
Sorry.
But the point is, now they've got all these travel bans, so I'm like, well, guess what? You're not going to be able to hype, there's people from all over the world unless they're already here.
Right.
So that went right out the window.
Yeah,
that's one hype point that went out the window.
Yeah.
And there's just the simple fact that, WrestleMania it was going to be at the whatever the heck, I think it's
in Tampa. I can't remember the name of it.
The stadium in Tampa.
Yeah.
Whatever the name of it is,
Arena,
I've completely forgotten it by now. Which would have a crap ton of people in it, which obviously ain't going to be happening now.
Right.
So we've all been speculating and wondering.
Florida doesn't have any. They have just the basic large one that the America has put out, but for some reason Florida's governor can't issue proclamations like that because of some election. So they have to go through the legislature, and they haven't done anything yet. Mm-hmm. So
now, if I was a mean person, I would say because Florida. But I'm not a mean person, so you do it.
Because Florida.
Thank you. So Yesterday afternoon or yesterday evening?
Sometime.
Yeah. But yesterday evening, I think, he comes out of our computer room and I'm just, noodling around, playing games on my phone or something. And he tells me the news that has come down from the mountaintop in Connecticut.
Oh, Vince came down with the tablets from Mount Titan Tower.
Well, considering no, Vince doesn't think he's Moses. Vince thinks he's God.
Oh, it must have been Triple H carrying the tablets.
And there's so many jokes I could make right there. And I'm not going to.
Yea, and verily, we will do WrestleMania at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida.
And I looked at him, and I swear I thought he was kidding. I was
Until
waiting.
she saw my face, it was totally stoned.
I was waiting for the punchline, or I'm waiting for the gotcha. But no, he's like looking at me, and I'm like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "Yep." Now, I am of two minds of this. I am of two minds about a lot of things when I'm not of 10 minds about things, because my mind tends to work like a pinball machine. Or
I can verify that. It does. She'll
does.
be on one topic and then, woo, we're over here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's true. Then I'll go back to the other topic a few minutes later because I remembered what I was going to say or remembered the answer to something. Sorry, I'm one of those people.
Yeah. East of Eden.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong about that one.
Private joke.
But actually, I didn't do that. That was Stacey.
I
She did that
know.
to me. Anyway, so on one hand, I'm kind of like, well, they're taking the attitude the show must go on. You don't need to mime holding one hand out. It's not necessary. They can't see you. Twonk. But
just trying to provide you with some visual aids, darling.
Anyway, you kind of could take the attitude, well, at least they're trying. Mm-hmm. At least they're trying. The show must go on. That kind of an attitude.
To their credit, they did do. They've done everything at the Performance Center since last Friday. We tuned into SmackDown for the first time in I don't know how long.
Yeah.
And just to see how they were doing it, it actually was kind of interesting.
Well,
a lot of people really liked it. A lot of people hated it. But
I tuned
really
in to see Roman Reigns, but
yeah,
woman.
It was interesting. I didn't say for the whole show.
Woman needs don't judge. But anyway, I mean, I know a lot of people are trying to put a positive, or at least a semi-positive spin on this. Like I said, they're taking, the whole show must go on attitude and stuff like that. And I would like to try and be able to take that attitude. I just can't. I mean, even speaking as a semi professional actress, I can't take the attitude the show must go on here. Because the show can only go on if the theater's not on fire. And,
the theater's not on fire.
No, but it's empty.
But it doesn't have to be.
I'm almost afraid to ask. What?
I was reading my pal Dave Shearer's column on PWInsider this evening.
Hey, Dave.
About WrestleMania, and I wrote him a letter back. He was suggesting, how they can get this to work and how to make it go. Mm-hmm. And I said to him, this is what I said to him. I said, WWE is a production giant. Vince wants to be entertainment, not wrestling. So what better place to show off everything he can do but at the company's #1 event, WrestleMania? Here's how you pull it off at the Performance Center. Mm-hmm. Green screen all the empty seats in the whole place and show huge crowds to the home audience. They can pull them from the audience shots from Raw, SmackDown, whatever. Pipe in all the necessary crowd noises with boos and cheers in all the right places. Again, they've got tons of recordings of this going on over the years. It could do it for, they could go back to pull stuff from Foley if they wanted to. Third, do complete entrances, limited pyro, but everything else fine. Run it exactly as if they were doing it from Tampa. Except, at the very beginning, you invite the audience to be in on it. Tell them, we're going to do this tonight, and ask them to have the audience invite them to suspend their disbelief as they do with an effects-loaded film like Avengers Endgame, and join in on the fun and the absolute absurdity, and it could be the most surreal and possibly one of the coolest WrestleManias in history. In other words, everybody already knows that the trappings are all fake, but the performances are real. Why not have fun with it? Because there's no other way to justify a $60 price tag for those people who are ordering it that don't have WWE Network like we do. Mm-hmm. And it would be an original idea. And it would give Vince the chance to show off he has real Hollywood production values.
Okay. That's actually not bad. I've actually heard people suggest something along those lines over on the Reddit channel, Squared Circle.
On Reddit, Squared Circle.
No, like a lot of people do that.
I don't mean that. I don't do Reddit.
Nice.
Sorry.
Be nice.
Except those r/ channels on YouTube.
Yeah. But some people have suggested that they use footage from the video games, use, footage from the crowds and stuff like that in video. Yeah. So you're basically saying they should stock the crowd with holograms?
Right. No, just green screen the audiences in. When you think about it, I don't know, this is going to be a really weird analogy, okay?
This should be good, folks.
When they shot the outside scenes in the Twilight films that were set at the high school in Forks,
right?
Everything except the front was green screened, and you can't tell it on the film. No. The building was green screened, the cars were green screened, the buses were green screened. Everything was green screened. You can do it badly like Tommy Wiseau in The Room, which actually would kind of fit the entire idea. But, I mean, it's seamless. You can do seamless green screen these days.
Hold up. No, that's an interesting idea. Mm-hmm. You had to use Twilight as an example?
Well, that's the only one I've actually seen.
Avatar?
That's the only one I've actually seen footage of it, where it was an outdoor scene. Okay, it was an outdoor location, and they green screened everything except certain trees and a statue and stuff. Everything else, there was miles of green screen.
Okay, all right.
It was really amazing because you can't tell that's not really the building.
We've actually been to the Twilight movies because we have friends who like Twilight, and we're good friends.
We do movie critics.
Yeah, and we're also critics. And maybe one of us wore a Team Winchester shirt to one of the Twilight movies because
Breaking Dawn Part 1.
Because one of us likes to stir stuff up.
But I mean, I just think that would be the way to go with it is to go totally surreal. Let the fans in on the fun. The fans can chime in on Twitter and Facebook and everything too.
I actually just had an idea, and seriously, this literally.
But God forbid Vince brings the internet in.
I know, because we're the
WWE
problem.
Nation doesn't know what they're talking about.
We're the problem. Anything. If Vince could find a way to blame this virus on us, he would. He absolutely would.
It's the internet's fault. We can't do WrestleMania this year. Oh my God!
I am convinced of this.
Go kick that kid's ass in that Massachusetts that screwed us up years ago.
Somebody still holds ill feelings. Anyway, moving on.
I could go into Jim Cornette, but I'm not going to.
Could you word that differently, please?
Yeah.
Please.
I could do my Jim Cornette impression, but I'm not going to.
Please don't. Leave it. We don't want to engender hard feelings here on this show. We're all about trying to be friendly to everybody on my show.
Have you heard your show from time to time? That's such bullshit.
I'd be mad at him, but he's right. I can't help it. I get passionate about things.
I know you do.
And on occasion, I am a little...
Lose your marbles.
On occasion, I can be slightly unladylike.
Oh, God, you could have a hissy fit. Oh, no.
I could, considering I've had years of watching you as practice on how to...
I don't have hissy fits.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's the men don't have hissy fits argument.
Men do not giggle, and men do not have hissy fits. Men chortle, and they have temper tantrums.
Okay. All right. Okay, moving forward. Yeah. No, seriously, the idea that I just had would be that if people... I just don't know how they could do this, because I don't know anything about computer stuff. I admit that. You know, like, during WrestleMania, if they could get, like, if people out there could record themselves and then, like, email it to them.
Yeah, they could do that easily.
And show people...
Or not email it, but just record themselves and post it on TikTok, Twitter, Twitch.
Yeah. all that
Yeah.
stuff. Then you could actually have people from all over the world.
You could.
And show them watching WrestleMania.
It's like those like the talent shows. You ever see World's Best or Rising Star a few years ago where they bring in the pictures of everybody that's watching, or America's Got Talent champions.
Yeah.
You know, just bring in the pictures or videos or whatever.
Yeah.
They could really make this might not be unsalvageable.
Yeah. I mean, you have to...
Because if they don't do any of this stuff, it's going to suck.
When you have to kind of take the attitude that, when life gives you lemons, make whiskey sours. But on one hand... I don't want lemonade. On one hand, I mean, that's on one hand that you're like, okay, the show must go on, at least they're giving it a shot.
Yeah.
On the other side of things, you've got the whole idea of WrestleMania, the showcase of the immortals, the granddaddy of them all, blah, 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 hyperbole, hyperbole, hyperbole.
They could have postponed it.
Yeah. At the Performance Center.
I mean, they could have postponed it, had it later, either in Tampa or at another major arena. They could have postponed it like all the sports teams have suspended operations now. Mm-hmm. They have rescheduled the Kentucky Derby this year for September 4th. Yep. Which is, I think, the day before Labor Day. They've rescheduled the Boston Marathon for September 14th. Yeah. You could reschedule it,
At the risk of blowing my own horn, but I did put up a tweet earlier today, basically where I said the whole idea of them holding WrestleMania at the Performance Center would be like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle having their wedding reception at a Dunkin' Donuts.
And you were doing what when you did that?
What do you mean?
You just said that you at the risk of what?
At the risk of blowing my own horn. I walked right into that.
You did. Smacked right into the brick wall.
Eyes wide open. Walked right into it. But it is. I mean, when you think about the idea of WrestleMania, a show where we've seen some of the most amazing wrestling moments, along with some of the worst. But the idea that you're going to hold it in a place like the Performance Center, which is not only the Performance Center, an empty Performance Center.
Right. Well, this isn't just hitting them.
No, it's not. We're definitely not going to.
It's hitting AEW, too.
Yes,
AEW Dynamite
really
is coming
sucks.
At this time we're doing this, coming tomorrow night. I think it's coming from Jacksonville with no audience. They first said they were going to have a limited audience, but they can't do that. TNT told them not to.
It was originally a show that was going to be from New York.
Yeah.
But since New York has become a hotbed
ours has been rescheduled, too. We were supposed to get it in April. Now we're going to be getting it in August, if it's okay then. Yeah. But tomorrow night is a big show for them. They're revealing the identity of the Exalted One, like either one of us care. And I've gotten into it with people who know on Twitter.
Spoiler alert, we don't.
Yeah, we don't care about the Dark Order. But everybody's convinced it's going to be Matt Hardy. I'm not necessarily convinced of that. But to have to reveal that on a show with no audience...
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Talk about months of hype wasted. It really is.
I know.
I feel bad for them.
I do. I do, too.
I feel bad for Vince, too. I mean, and
I feel bad for everybody whose life has been upended by this.
Yeah.
I mean...
everybody's life has been upended by it.
Yeah, some people more than others.
Yeah, agreed, yeah.
Most kids that have been, they can't go to school and stuff like that, they're going to be taught from home, from, online and stuff like that.
Which I'm sure they're thrilled by.
Yeah, I'm sure they're really happy about that. Well, some of them probably are. You get to go to class in your PJs.
Well, true.
And you don't have to fix up your hair and do your makeup and stuff like that.
You're supposed to have a webcam, so yeah, you would have to do something. But at least here, I don't know about anywhere else.
you could actually. Well, fine. You could go to class wearing Pikachu ears if you wanted to. I mean, I am not suggesting anybody go to class wearing Pikachu ears.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, and I'm not suggesting that. Don't take any life advice from me, kids. That's a terrible idea. It is. I don't have any children, and I am clinically insane.
We're both children ourselves. We don't need any children.
I have the heart of a 21-year-old girl in my drawer somewhere. No, that's a joke.
Bathed in formaldehyde.
That's a joke. Anyway, also a joke. But other things that have been, other things that are wrestling oriented, besides indie shows and things like that.
The indies are getting decimated.
Yeah,
I mean,
when
they
that
really are.
Sucks.
There
that
were
really
so many
sucks.
things scheduled for the Tampa area WrestleMania weekend, and they're all getting,
Yeah.
GCW, Game Changer Wrestling had to shut
Yeah.
down, and a number of other things.
Joey
It
Janela
just
had that
sucks.
big show.
Well, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
his big show,
imagine Effie's big gay brunch is going to get postponed.
Oh yeah.
All of those were happening in Tampa, and
it really sucks.
It does suck.
It really, really sucks.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the world of entertainment, a lot of TV shows have had to stop production. A lot of movies have had to stop production, and that still goes into wrestling as well. The Stars series Heels, which was going to be starring Arrow star Stephen Amell
and Alexander Ludwig,
who is amazing,
and way better than Stephen Amell.
He said that.
I have this thing against the Amell brothers or cousins or whatever they are.
They're cousins, and just
I don't mind Stephen. It's Robbie I can't stand. So anyway, blame the CW's Tomorrow people for that.
Hate mail goes to his email.
I just don't like him. Sorry, I liked him as Firestorm though.
Yeah,
he was good.
You liked him fine as Firestorm. Yeah. I thought
the only time I've ever liked him.
You've never seen him in anything else.
I have too.
Besides that and the Tomorrow
I have
people.
seen him in other stuff too.
Okay, fine. Anyway, that series has suspended production indefinitely, which really stinks because I was really looking forward to that.
Everything has been suspended indefinitely.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the 100 got to finish their final episode because they only had a day and a half left to shoot, so they just did it.
Yeah.
But your show, Supernatural's final 2 episodes are in limbo, as is the finale of Power, which are both ending this season. So it's going to be, you'll have to wait for the finales. All the rest of the stuff will probably just end up like the writer's strike and end up bumping to next season.
Which stinks.
It does, it does stink. We follow this stuff too on East Cinema 1. So.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more over there, more in depth, because that's more.
We've been talking a lot about coronavirus stuff on Subject Cinema the last 2 weeks. You can go check it out at subjectcinema.com.
So the best thing we can all do right now is just try and be well, stay safe, keep your family safe. Don't panic buy. Don't go to the store and buy every single roll of toilet paper.
You don't need 27 gallons of milk.
And you don't need 27 gallons of milk.
Unless you have like 20 kids.
Basically, to put it in a way that I think would be very succinct, don't be a douche. I think that.
And if you are a douche, fuck off.
That works too. Thanks, Puddin'.
I got to swear for a change. Yay!
Before we head out, just going in a little bit into more in depth into you and me and our.
Oh
right
God!
Now,
why?
Right now, no, because it's my show.
Okay.
Right now, if you had to name your top 5 favorite wrestlers, who would they be?
Of all time or right now?
Just at this, well, including all time and right now, who's like up there for you?
You're putting me on the spot this way.
Well, I'm going to put.
Shouldn't we say that for Front Row 5 and 10 sometime? Well, I think my all-time favorite wrestler will always be Sean Waltman. I just think he's great. I love his stuff. He's always been good. After that, I really have to sit down and think because so many people are so good.
Okay, well, just throw out some names that you really
some
like.
of my favorites right now. Since I've come back to wrestling, I don't have a problem with everybody else does with Roman Reigns. I like Daniel Bryan.
I like Daniel Bryan now that he doesn't look like one of those.
I think Miz is one of the most
woods.
underrated wrestlers out there. He's great,
Really?
whether he's heel or face.
Okay.
I'm a sucker for Jurassic Express. Marco Stunt, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus. They're awesome.
Me too.
Orange Cassidy is fall down hilarious and a great wrestler too.
What do you think about people that don't get his whole?
You mean like Corny? You don't think Corny gets him and all? Huh?
Could we not?
I like Kenny Omega too. Oh, I bet that makes Corny pissed. Anyway, Kenny Omega's
Apparently
awesome.
we can.
Bucks are awesome.
Yeah.
People who are haters, who are looking for work rate and stuff, don't get Orange Cassidy because he doesn't have any. Most of the time, he's just out there doing the comedy stuff. When he really wrestles, which we have only just started to see in the last 2 weeks on AEW, at the pay-per-view with Pac. The bastard Pac, not Pac, Waltman Pac. He's really good. And I mean, we knew that because we've seen him on indie shows. He had a great match with Marco Stunt in Fall River last year. He's a great wrestler, but he plays himself entirely for comedy. The little funny shin kicks, and I mean, you got kids that are dressing like him, acting like him with their hands in their pockets all the time, wearing the same outfit, and it's adorable. But he's a really good wrestler, and if people watch him and wait to see him wrestle, he's fine.
Yeah.
And just like everybody who actually rags on Marco because of his size, because Marco is tiny. He's 5'2".
Yeah.
Not even 5'2". His brother Logan is 5'5", and he's also good.
Yeah.
The thing that makes Marco work is the people love him.
Yeah.
The people he works with love him. Mm-hmm. They help him get over.
Yep.
They help him be believable. It works great when he's got somebody that's more his size in build-wise, but taller, like Christopher Daniels. It doesn't work so well if he goes against somebody bigger like Evil Uno or
I mean, if you put him
Kazarian.
If you put him in the ring with Braun Strowman, I mean, it would,
Yeah, that would be funny. I mean, he'd love to go in the ring with Big Show, I'm sure, because he's a huge Big Show
I'm not sure funny is the word I would have gone for, but I think catastrophe was the word I was going for, but anyway.
But people don't give Marco enough credit, and
they don't.
I think people are really starting to see what he can do in this new series he's got running with his buddy Sammy Guevara.
Yes.
Sammy is just one of the best pound-for-pound young wrestlers out there, too.
Absolutely.
Hate his guts on and character. Outside of that character, he's freaking hilarious.
That's
Love
the thing.
The guy.
You're supposed to hate him.
I know.
And so that's the thing. It's like he's doing his
job.
And
the Dark Order, Evil Uno, he just bores me. Yawn. You can go over and check my Cinema One Twitter. I've been feuding with the guy on Twitter for a while.
That's the thing about. We've actually talked about this before, you and I, just in private and stuff like that. We talked about heel heat and stuff like that, and you're of the opinion that there can be too much heel heat on somebody.
You mean X-Pac heat?
Yeah. No, well...
Or is that even higher?
I think that there's certain people that I think actually even get high.
If you get certain heat, it's dangerous to the fans, it's dangerous to the wrestler, and it's dangerous to their career. Two people are at that level right now. Baron Corbin in WWE and MJF in AEW.
You think so?
They are both at a level where the fans are literally attacking them, and that is not a good idea.
Yeah, that is not a good idea.
I mean, they're both really good at playing the smug, obnoxious heels. MJF is better than Corbin, but I mean...
I don't think he's playing. That's the thing.
No, I know.
That's the thing that... I mean, I'd like to think that's...
Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah,
anyway.
I'm sorry, but no, I mean...
They're both really good wrestlers, too.
I mean, I brought that up on my show a couple of months ago. Corbin was getting death threats. And I'm like...
Well, this whole King Corbin thing is just the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, I know that, but
it really is. This is one of the primary reasons why I do not watch WWE product anymore.
This isn't 1985. You can't write to somebody and say, I'm going to come to Raw and I'm going to stab you.
I know.
And not get a visit from the feds.
Yeah, they're fucking idiots.
Crazy?
They really are when they do stuff like that.
And then we had the whole incident that happened with MJF getting jumped by a fan. And that turned out, I mean, we were both like, that's the one thing. Unfortunately, we're both very cynical about wrestling. That,
It's just like the numbnuts that jumped in the ring and attacked Bret Hart at last year's Hall of Fame ceremony.
One numbnut. It was only one dude.
Well, I know, but I'm saying that guys have two.
Okay. I don't know. I don't think that guy has any.
What were you thinking, dude? I mean, it's like, honestly, you know me. Kim will tell you, I am not the biggest Bret Hart fan in the world.
That's an understatement.
I do respect his legacy. And as he's gotten older, I've enjoyed watching him talking about his career and stuff. Mm-hmm. But he did not have that coming. No. And I'm like, what the hell?
Even if you didn't particularly care for him as a wrestler, which you didn't, and you made it extremely clear, because, one, you were an Owen Hart fan.
I was an Owen Hart. I was a huge Owen Hart fan.
Because Owen was an amazing wrestler was reason number one. Reason number two was because you knew it irritated me.
Yes. But I've always liked The Undertaker.
Yes, you have. Well, that goes without saying.
Yeah, I know. But, you like him, too.
I do. A lot. Anyway, if you were somebody that felt that Bret Hart was overrated or whatever or blah, 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 that's a human being who is a stroke survivor, a cancer survivor, has been through so much stuff.
Yeah.
Even just as a person, you'd have to have a heart made out of complete granite not to be like, dude, what is your problem?
I know. It's just insane.
That's the thing. I mean, do you think that there are times when heels go too... There's one thing about getting heat and getting over being a heel, but...
AEW pushed it dangerously close to the edge with the Cody MJF thing, particularly with the 10 lashes thing. It was entertaining, watching them do that, and God love Cody for actually putting up with that stuff.
Seriously.
But it was
that was sick.
It pushed it really too far. And that's where everything started to turn, where the hatred toward MJF turned from, oh, boo, I hate you, to boo, I hate you, you suck, die.
Yeah.
And that's where he is right now.
Yeah.
And that's a shame, because he's a really good wrestler.
He is. When he actually... When we get to see him wrestle, he's...
I hate to say this, but it's the truth. If you're comparing heels, this generation... of wrestlers that are coming up, he has the flair to be Ric Flair someday.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's got everything down, including Ric's little strut, which he drives the fans nuts with.
Yeah.
And I think even Flair would say so.
I think you're right. I mean, I do think you're right.
And if you're listening to this, please don't take that as a compliment. I can't stand you.
That's mature, honey. So I think that's going to kind of wrap it up here. I think we've kind of talked about a lot of stuff and got out.
Woohoo!
If you would like to send any comments, questions, queries, money, Roman Reigns' phone number. No. Just kidding on that last one. Stalking is bad, okay? PlatinumRoselle@yahoo.com. And
you do that too well.
Well, that's my thing. I love doing voices. I'm like always.
She's a voice artist.
Don't say that.
You are.
I'm not. I mean, I try to be, but.
Can you say something for today?
What?
It's St. Patrick's Day.
What do you want me to say?
Whatever you want to say, but say it right.
Well, if I like to say anything to all my Irish friends out there, I'd like to say, Erin go Braun, have a happy St. Patrick's Day. Although by now it's probably the next day over in Ireland, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so it's Happy Hangover Day. I don't think there's a Saint Hangover, so I don't.
If you guys are big fans of Kim, I can't stress this enough. We have something called the PNR Networks Patron Circle. It's $5 a month, and we could really use your support, especially right now with all the stuff going on.
Yeah.
It helps us pay for equipment and website space and all that stuff, and helps us fund all the crazy stuff we do for all of our shows.
Yeah.
It's at PNR Network. It's at patreon.com/PNR Networks. Please join.
And if you want to give your email as well so people can write
you can reach me at webmaster@pnrnetworks.com or subjectcinema@pnrnetworks.com.
And you can also reach him at eCinema.
eCinema1 on Twitter.
And I am PlatinumRoseL at twitter.com. So that is gonna do it for us. Before we go, I would like to say to anybody out there, if you can, check on people around you that might need a little help, any elderly neighbors you have or anything like that. And just take care of yourself, take care of your families, everybody be safe. We love you lots. And, I will be back next week with another show talking about who knows what. I mean, considering that there's not much wrestling on TV right now, maybe they'll start doing.
You can watch a ton of IWTV stuff, though.
That's true, or maybe they'll start having live sock puppet fights or something like that. That would be fun. Live sock puppet wrestling.
Live socket puppets? What's a socket puppet?
And that's what happens when I try and talk and not think about what I'm saying before I say it, and it all comes out like I just had a whole tumbler full of whiskey, which I haven't, I swear.
She doesn't drink.
No, I would if
you have a Midorian Sprite every now and then. That's about it.
That's me. I'm so wild. It's really sad. I'm Irish and Canadian and have no tolerance for alcohol. I'm a disgrace to both stereotypes.
That's caused by the cholesterol.
It's
medicine.
very tragic. So anyway, this is. I will be back next week, probably by myself, unless you want to show up again.
It's up to you.
dispense your wisdom.
It's up to you.
So this is Kim Brown signing off for another week here on Ring Around the Rosie, and hoping all your roses will be in bloom. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
You have been listening to Ring Around the Rosie with Kim Brown, a production of PNR Networks. Keep in touch with all things about the show at http://ringaroundtherosie.net. Ring Around the Rosie intro performed by Eric Lyon. Ring Around the Rosie theme by Digital Juice. Join Kim for a new Ring Around the Rosie every Wednesday. Ring Around the Rosie is copyright 2018 PNR Networks, Boston, Massachusetts, USA.
15 years, blowing the doors off the competition, podcasting to planet Earth.
PNRNetworks.com